Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Footprints. I'm your host, Anthony Davis. I'm an educator at BHS. And joining me today, ladies and gentlemen, is a gentleman who takes running and also musical stuff to another level. This is Adam Costa, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Costa is the director of the instrumental music at Beverly High School, where he has really directed, and he's been the concert guy, marching band, jazz band program since 2012. That's pretty cool. And prior to that, Mr. Costa was the band director right down the street, of course, here at Briscoe Middle School, right?
Briscoe.
Yes, indeed.
Correct.
And he taught there, and he has taught, ladies and gentlemen, in Beverly Public Schools since 2004. That's a little bit of a long time, eh?
And
so his teaching career began, and he does do that. He's been having a lot of fun with it. Now, Mr. Costa holds a bachelor's degree in music education from James Madison University, which is kind of cool, and also in music education from Boston University. Originally from New Hampshire, he now resides here in Beverly with his wife and son and dog. What's your dog's name?
Gracie.
Gracie. All right, Gracie. And when he's not directing band and at BHS, he likes to spend time with his family, and he can usually be found running, which we're going to talk about that, running the streets of Beverly and all over the place. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, Mr. Adam Costa.
Thank you, Mr. Davis.
Well, thank you for being here, sir.
Oh, I appreciate it.
So right off the bat, I'm going to ask you right away. Tell us something about yourself that nobody knows. Maybe a little nugget, something that might be...
A nugget about myself.
Mm-hmm.
I would say my closest family members, my immediate family know this, but a lot of folks in my professional life and my friends here in Beverly may not be aware that I hold 2 black belts in both Shotokan karate and jiu-jitsu.
Well, that is really, really, really cool. Now, I'm going to tell you, I myself am a black belt in Kempo karate.
Hey.
And I've done that for a while. And now I am studying Wing Chun. I have a dummy in my house. I don't mean my kids. Right? I have one of those, yes, indeed.
And my snare drum.
Yes. So let's get right to it. So I'm going to ask you a couple things. What's the first instrument you ever picked up, number one? And number two, do you still remember the song that you tried to play?
Okay, great opening question. Well, it's a multifaceted answer. Technically speaking, the first instrument I ever played was my my little child-size Mickey Mouse Fisher-Price guitar.
Okay.
When I was, I want to say, 6 or 7 years old.
All right.
And accompanying my mom to her church folk group rehearsals to get ready for like Sunday services. So
okay.
I would come along and I would strum my little child-sized guitar.
That's pretty cool.
With the adults. There was that in school. Of course, everybody is expected at some point in elementary school to play the recorder.
Okay.
Which...
I remember those days.
We all have big feelings about the recorder. Teachers and students alike.
Yes, indeed.
But I would say the first instrument that I studied of my own sort of drive and interest was the trombone. And that was in 4th grade.
Wow. 4th grade, ladies and gentlemen. How about that? So, I mean, obviously, those were the footprints that were kind of laid out for you right there with the little Mickey Mouse.
I should have brought a picture. There's photographic evidence of me doing this.
Awesome. That is awesome. Okay, so now, if you could have any musician, they could be dead or alive, join the Beverly High School band, who would it be? Who would get the invite?
Ooh, there are so many names swimming through my head right now.
Right?
But I think somebody that I hold in high regard that sort of preach the gospel of what I do to my students in terms of not filling every single moment with sound, but acknowledging the silence, letting the silence and the space in between the notes become a part of the overall performance.
Yep.
I would have to go probably with Miles Davis.
Miles Davis. Now, there's a name that I have not heard in quite a long time.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, Miles Davis was some musician. Trumpeter extraordinaire, indeed.
And quite a personality, too.
Yes, indeed. Without a doubt. Now, What's your favorite go-to pump-up song, right? Before like maybe a big concert or a performance, or maybe even at a high school event.
I would have to. So I have a full playlist, a couple of playlists on my phone that I go to before a race, before a performance, any big event, and it's got a mixture of mostly hard rock and heavy metal on
Okay,
it.
all right. Little AC/DC?
No AC/DC on there. A little bit of Metallica.
Metallica, okay. Enter Sandman.
Some of my favorite '90s acts: Nine Inch Nails.
Oh my.
Tool.
Okay.
That type of thing. I'm a child of the '90s, so alternative rock figures in pretty heavily.
I like that. Now you mentioned running, so we're going to talk a little bit about that. Mr. Costa is an avid runner. You belong to a running club, sir?
Technically, I think I belong to 3 or 4 of them.
Oh my goodness, that's a lot of
Official
running.
membership, yes, there is an official memberip with Wicked Running Club.
Goodness. So tell us, how'd you get involved with that?
The running joke is, once you hit your late 30s, early 40s, everybody has to have a midlife crisis, right? And so your options are you buy an expensive car. That was off the table.
Yeah, no doubt.
Public school teacher, right?
Yeah.
There was the option to take up pickleball. Not really my scene.
Yeah, me either.
I could become a homemade baker and start making my own sourdough.
Okay, all right.
But we had gotten a membership to the Y. I want to say just before COVID. It was like 7 years ago.
Okay.
And so I'm like, well, I need to use this membership. I need to get over there and make it worth our while.
Yeah.
So I didn't know my way around the weight room. I didn't know, it can be intimidating when you first go to the gym. Everyone's sizing everyone up. How do I use the equipment? I'm like, well, the treadmill, I can operate a treadmill. I ran one season of middle school track back in the day. So I hopped on the treadmill, and the more I did it, I was like, I kind of like this. And I'm not horrible at it, for a guy in my late 30s who hasn't really run at all in 25 plus years. So then people started to take notice. My friends started taking notice, and I was, hey, I'm part of this club. We do track workouts on Tuesday nights. So I started showing up to the track workouts, and then I joined the club, and then like, hey, we have a race coming up.
Oh my gosh!
And it, one thing led to another. So. Yeah, it is definitely, it's midlife crisis, but also a passion.
It's part of you now, right?
Yeah, it's a part of me.
Yeah, I love it. Tell me a little bit about your parents. What did your parents do for a living?
So growing up in New Hampshire, my dad was part of the tech industry. He went through kind of the corporate ladder with companies. Some of these companies don't exist anymore. Data General, Compaq,
Radio Shack,
Digital. He never had to go Radio Shack.
No.
Although I do miss that store.
Yeah, me too.
So he worked for Compaq and then eventually Hewlett Packard.
Wow.
Until he retired. He is now in his retirement actually pursuing his real vocation, which is ministry in hospital. So he went.
No kidding.
He got his Master's of Divinity degree.
That's awesome.
And so he's ministering to.
Good for him.
Yeah. So like it's a real shift in culture and daily activity, but he's really happy doing that.
Without a doubt. What about your mom? What did she do?
My mom was sort of, I would say, the quintessential homemaker. She was the one who ferried my sister and I to all of our after-school activities.
Okay.
She always had a great meal on the table. She was the one coordinating carpools with the other families to make sure we got to where we needed to go.
So there's the footprints right there, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see. Mom was involved. She was a homemaker, but not really. She had these guys running around, doing all kinds of stuff in different events, right?
Yes.
And that's a beautiful thing right there. So those footprints were laid down for you.
Yes.
And you took those and said, you know what, maybe I'm going to become a teacher. So what sparked the interest in education for you in getting into teaching?
I think by the time I got to high school, music was far and away my greatest passion. And I loved playing it. I loved listening to it. I loved being a part of the culture of the band program at my school. And, once you get to your sophomore year, everyone's asking you, well, what do you want to do? What do you want to do with your life? I think of the guy from the Twisted Sister music video. Exactly. What are you going to do with your life? And
I want to rock.
I want to rock. Except I knew that rocking was not a terribly viable option at that time. So, I had training in low brass, trombone, and I picked up the tuba, and I saw that as a way to get into music school because I knew tuba was heavily needed.
Oh, yeah.
In just about any ensemble, and I would have an easier time getting into a music school on that than, say, trombone or trumpet.
No doubt.
But the closer I got to college, I also knew that I wanted to devote my life to sharing my love of music.
Yeah.
With kids.
That's real right there. I like that.
We all have those formative experiences, those core memories.
Yes.
Right? That make you who you are. And for me, it was all those jam sessions with friends and playing in parades with the school band and, my parents coming to see me march in a parade and that type of thing. And I'm like, I from the age of about 15, I could not imagine myself
doing anything else but that.
Anything else but living a life of music and teaching and fostering that joy in kids.
Well, good for you.
So,
I'll tell you, man, it's great when you find your passion and you find your purpose in life, right? And those footprints were left early on you, and you carry those forward now to your students, right? So now, what's something that's really most people misunderstand about running a high school program?
Right? We only have like 15 minutes, right?
I know, right? I gotta get it done.
It is, so I guess the best way I could summarize it is, I refer to myself as a band director, right? And so with being a director, there are a lot of inferred, administrative, behind the scenes responsibilities.
Definitely.
That come with the gig, right?
No question.
So I teach the same number of classes as any other classroom teacher. However, the multiple nights and weekends, and even sometimes school vacations, where I am at school, at a gig with the kids, traveling out of state, organizing and setting up fundraisers, working with a fabulous booster organization of parent volunteers who support what we do. There's a lot of administrative detail that comes with the job that I think people don't always
realize.
Don't realize. I mean, even the band itself, right? First block of the day, I have, and they're amazing kids. But I have 85 kids.
Oh my!
In my room at one time.
Oh my! That's like herding cats, ladies and gentlemen. Get in there!
They're very compliant, creative, and incredibly kind cats. But yes.
Yes, we love that. Oh my gosh! Well, kudos to you, Mr. Costa. That is unbelievable.
I appreciate that.
What's been your proudest moment as a music director at Beverly High School?
I couldn't summarize it to just one moment or event. For me, it's those kind of off-the-cuff moments that come when I'll run into a former student in the grocery store.
No, right?
Or I'll run into a former student, in line at the coffee shop, and they'll tap me on the shoulder or get my attention and say, "Hey, Mr. Costa, you may not remember me, right? I had you in history of rock class, or I took guitar with you, 10 years ago, or whatever the case may be."
Crazy, right?
And they'll start sharing the story of something I said to them or some activity we did in class that always stuck with them. And I don't necessarily have these vivid memories of what they're sharing with me, but it made an impact.
Yeah,
right?
Imagine that.
And it's that whole thing of people, you don't always remember what people told you or what people, did with you, but you remember how they made you feel.
Yeah, no question.
And that's the greatest payback for me is when I have these kind
awesome.
of chance student encounters and they share these positive feelings.
Yeah, without a doubt. Oh, Adam, I'll tell you, for me, it's the same thing in the classroom, right? I might see a kid, out in the community or maybe at a market or whatever, and they always remember his coach or Mr. Davis. Hey, how you doing? And it's like, oh, do you remember we did this and that? And I'm just like, oh, not really. But then, it kind of comes into view a little bit, But it's great that I had that impact and you're having the same impact on the kids, and it's a beautiful thing. So now, this is a good one. How do you handle those moments when something goes hilariously wrong on stage?
Ooh, so
And you know it's happening, and nobody else really knows it's happening.
yeah, it depends. It depends on the severity of the situation, right?
Right.
So in almost all cases, there's kind of this knowing glance between me and the kids.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we're kind of staying afloat without a life jacket here. How long can we tread water? And we just try to power through and cross our fingers that we come out unscathed. There was one time in particular that I would say was one of the most embarrassing moments. Was we were at a football game. Probably about 10 years ago, and it was a really windy day, and the crowd was really loud and active, and there was all of this just distraction around us. And I'm up on the podium, and it's time to perform the national anthem.
Oh.
Okay, and I always tell the kids that that's the one piece we play at every football game that really we have to just
You gotta nail it, yeah.
You gotta nail it. Like, everybody knows that it comes with a certain level of reverence,
of course,
and respect. And I go to cue in the band, and there was just too much distraction going on around the field. And within 3-4 measures, it sounded like a 60s psychedelic rock performance. Like, it was echoey, and we had all these really crunchy harmonies. And it was, and my training was, well, no, power through. We'll find our footing, and we'll pull it back together. And it just got worse. It got worse. So I actually had to stop it and restart it.
Oh, wow.
Because, well, it was one of those things where I'm like, this is too meaningful a piece and too important a piece to just cross our fingers
and hope it works.
And hope it works.
Well, you know what? That's awesome, and that is funny too, right? But here's the thing.
In retrospect, yes.
In retrospect, it is, yes. But yeah, when you're in it, you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But now, thinking back, see how well you adjusted to it, and the kids followed your lead because you've been doing it for so long.
Yes.
And they trust you.
Yes.
And that's the beautiful part of doing what you do. And I'm so glad that you're able to, at BHS, be part of that community, and I'm happy to be a colleague of yours where we get to actually see that growth of those kids, and you're able to bring them, power them through something like that.
A huge
awesome.
level of trust and accountability. And one of the things I love most about my job is how much responsibility I can place on my kids, and how willingly they take it on graciously and with great results. And I'll preach it from the rooftops. It's the hill I'll die on. Like, I've got the best kids.
Yeah, no doubt.
They're amazing.
And they are awesome. I got to be honest. So now, speaking of that, what's the biggest lesson music has taught maybe your students and maybe yourself?
I think if we were going to go for one overarching idea for both myself and the kids, it would be that music gives you a way to express your feelings in a unique and singular way. Music gives you an outlet when you feel like you don't have one. Like, we all have our vices, we have our coping mechanisms, right?
Yeah,
and
for sure.
Some are healthier than others.
Yeah.
When we're stressed out or overwhelmed. But I can't think of a more robust way to experience getting in touch with your emotions and sharing your emotions with someone else than making music with other people, and all those people are collectively saying, okay, we're all experiencing this together, and someone who's listening to it can also go, I'm feeling that too.
Yeah.
And then this total stranger who you've never met before in your life, they connect with you.
They connect.
And one of my favorite things is after a lot of football games, as the stands are emptying, parents and family members from the opposing team's fans will walk by the band, and they'll make a point to just kind of pat me on the shoulder or shake my hand and say, hey, your music is amazing. Just added so much to the game today. And like, it's the community piece, right? Like
It is.
it brings everybody together.
And it's so much fun when you see the kids having a good time, and then and you can see how they're impacting maybe that sporting event, and all the other kids that are there are into the music, right,
Yes.
and into the sporting event, and you guys providing that vibrant little that energy.
Yes.
I love seeing that.
Yeah, at times it feels almost like electric. It's kinetic.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, for sure. I can definitely feel it when I'm doing it, when I'm there. Tell me, what kind of footprint do you hope to leave on Beverly's high school's music scene?
Ooh, oh man, that is a loaded question.
It is indeed.
I want to, I think, above all else, leave a footprint of a program where everyone feels seen, heard, valued, respected, and embraced.
No question.
And
about
the
that.
family atmosphere that God love my predecessors and my former colleagues who have since retired, who established a lot of those norms. I think we have a really pretty visible identity within the school and within the community of
Absolutely.
being a program and a department where, man, you can be whoever you are, whatever you're going through, however you identify.
Right.
Doors are open. Come on in. You'll be accepted for who you are here. You will be embraced, and you will be celebrated for the person you are.
Definitely.
And if I can maintain that reputation, then I've done my job, as far as I'm concerned.
Yes, for sure. I got to tell you, one of the best things ever is when a kid who's a freshman coming in, maybe they play an instrument, they don't know where they're going to fit in, right?
Yeah.
They're kind of like bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, right? And then they come in, and all of a sudden they find their groove, right? They're doing something that they haven't done before, and they fit into a group, right? And you see that, and that's like a proud papa moment for you, I would imagine, right?
Totally.
Because you're like, hey, this kid, I wasn't sure where they're going to go, what they're going to do, how they're going to fit in, and all of a sudden, bang, they find their footing, and it's a beautiful thing to watch it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you have a huge hand in that, sir. You're doing very well with that, believe me.
I appreciate that. I think one of the greatest things about my job is that for the most part, these kids get to grow with me. I get to grow with them for 4 years.
Yeah.
Right? So you really see a journey unfurl.
Yeah.
And development and this blossoming that occurs from freshman year to senior year.
Yeah.
Not only musically, but also socially.
Definitely.
And it's the best watching that occur.
So, having said that, now I'm going to ask you this.
Okay.
What's the hardest part about saying goodbye to the seniors, right? Every year.
I think and people are maybe unintentionally very good about reminding me of this fact that as we get closer to June every year, someone will walk up to me and say, "Oh my gosh, you must just be devastated. So-and-so is graduating. What are you going to do next year?"
Right.
Without that trombone player or that clarinet player or whomever it might be, right? And what I've come to realize, everything works in cycles.
It does indeed.
Right? And there's always going to be people that I lament seeing walk out the door, as happy as I am for them.
Yeah.
Knowing all of the great things they have coming down the line.
Yeah.
And the great things they're going to do in the world. But then I also know that there's someone in that incoming freshman class who I may not be able to identify right away as like, the kind of the spark, if you will, who's going to just absolutely just turn it onto a full blaze and really ignite the program and ignite the band.
Yep.
And then 4 years later, it'll be like, oh my gosh, they're graduating. How? What are you going to do?
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm like, we're going to be okay. They will go off and do great things. Other people will come in and find their voice and figure out who they are, and they will do great things.
I can definitely relate to that type of thinking as a coach because I coach basketball. I've been coaching basketball for years.
Yeah.
And sometimes you get a freshman and he's really good, and then you have him for 3 or 4 years, then they're gone.
Yeah.
And they say, oh my gosh, what are you going to do next year? When they graduate the season. So I understand that way of thinking, which is really kind of cool.
Well,
now,
and you also know that, like, depending on the position they play, like your center may be amazing,
Right.
right? And then the center is gone, but then you might have a point guard who comes in,
Right.
who's firing on all cylinders. So it's that way for me. Like I'll graduate a bass player who just holds everything together, and then I'm building my rhythm section for a couple years. But then I have a trumpet section with powerhouse players, and it's it moves around the band.
It's so cool, huh?
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. So now, how do you yourself stay inspired as a musician and educator year after year?
I try to, maybe to the chagrin of some of my closest friends and family, I listen to music voraciously. Because I feel like if I am not inspired by the thing that I'm teaching, if I'm not actively seeking out more of it and studying it and being excited by it, then how can I expect to keep doing that for my kids, right?
Yes.
So that's a big piece for me is I'm listening to music constantly, even when I'm not teaching it.
Yeah.
Another thing which I wish I could do more of, I think a lot of veteran teachers probably feel this way, because you get kind of, set in your ways and you have your routines and so forth. I love the opportunity to get out and watch other people teach.
Yes.
Watch people who are infinitely better at doing what I do, watching them perform their craft and picking up on that is a great idea.
Yeah.
So those inspirational moments, I think, are also key to keeping the spark alive.
Oh, without a doubt. I do that too as a coach, right? Because you don't know everything, and you're always going to learn something from watching another team or another coach do something. You're like, oh, I never thought of doing that. So that's how it works, and that's really cool. You keep that spark alive, like you said. Now, if you weren't a music teacher, sir, what would you be doing instead?
Most people would probably tell you, as would I would be an English teacher, I think.
Ooh, an English teacher.
An English teacher, or if not an English teacher, a writer of some sort. I've always loved writing, and my family would be the first to tell you that I really enjoy big words and expansive vocabulary. We do word of the day, even in band and jazz band.
I like that.
Word of the day is on the daily agenda.
Definitely.
But I'm, in the summer in particular, love to read, love to write. I actually used to write album reviews for a music website for like 5 years. So, yeah, something in English or writing, I think.
Nice. I like that. Well, I'm already an English guy, and I'm also a humanities guy, so history and English are my thing. I love it. I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, if you like our content, please subscribe to BevCam. Also, don't forget that we're on Spotify as well as Apple Podcasts. Now, a few more questions here. Okay, now, we know technology and AI have been kind of this big thing, right?
Yes.
How has that sort of changed the way students experience music now?
I think we're still figuring it out.
Huh? Yeah.
So, I don't know if you see it this way in the classroom. For me, the AI sort of involvement is more prevalent in my elective classes, my history of popular music class, the courses where kids are learning how to play an instrument like ukulele or a guitar. I haven't seen it infiltrate or seep into my ensembles like band and jazz band as much, but I try to make a point to in class let's see what ChatGPT tells us.
Right.
Let's use the resources that are on the internet and see if it aligns with what I'm telling you or what you think your own viewpoint is.
No question about that. That's cool.
So I don't quite know where this is all going to fall, but one thing I know we can't do is just kind of ignore it and sweep it under a rug and just pretend
it's not there.
It doesn't exist.
Yeah, it's definitely going to have some impact in some way, shape, or form. No doubt. Okay, rapid fire, really quick.
Okay.
Favorite composer of all time?
Steve Reich.
Oh, okay. And why? Why him?
He takes the concept of minimalism and lets it unfurl slowly. So you will hear a rhythm that may actually make you want to rip your hair out initially. Just this.
I like it. Okay.
And then over the course of 30 minutes or 60 minutes, that chord has blossomed into this completely other shape-shifting thing.
I love it.
And I love the slow evolution of that, and that's something
pretty
he's
cool.
a master of.
Worst instrument to tune?
Worst instrument to tune? Ooh, there are many of them. But if we're talking about beginners, clarinet and oboe
can
be
that could be
particularly
like, a little daunting, right?
painful. Yes.
Okay. All right. Most underrated instrument?
In a school band.
In a school band.
I feel like, well, I'm probably biased saying this, but the tuba, and the trombone are criminally underrated. They get sort of lampooned as these big, heavy, cumbersome, just womp womp womp, right? Like the old stereotype.
Yeah.
But
I get it.
they are the bedrock of everything we do.
All right. How about marching band or jazz band?
Jazz band.
Jazz band, indeed. Beethoven or John Williams?
John Williams.
Yeah, for sure. Favorite concert memory in one sentence?
Concert memory in one sentence. Dancing my way across Grant Park in Chicago with my wife at the 2009 Lollapalooza Festival.
Oh my, I like that already. Dream venue to conduct in?
I got to do one this past year. I got to conduct the jazz band on the stage at the Hatch Shell on the Charles River. But in lieu of that, I would say Symphony Hall.
I like it, Symphony Hall indeed. One word that describes the Beverly High School band in the program.
Eclectic.
Oh, that's a good one.
Eclectic.
Indeed. And let's finish this sentence. Music at Beverly High School is?
A lifeline.
A lifeline to everything that's happening, not only in the world, but also in the Beverly community as well.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's been my pleasure to have been sitting today with Adam Costa, musical director of BHS. That's Beverly High School, for those folks who don't know. And I always ask you this question when we're closing the show. Who left a footprint on you? I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.